Good day. I wanted to show you my Super Bowl recorded history spreadsheet, and this is the template to predict the future. So let me go as far back beyond the beginning of the Gematria era, sports Gematria era on YouTube. And let's just start with Super Bowl 45. So this was the Packers' 13th title. It was over at the Dallas area. Dallas is 13-49. It's Aaron that's 49. BJ Raji, I think his nickname was the Freezer, is Gematria 49. And also Mike Tomlin is 49. It's Arlington, Texas at 62. The Steelers equals 62. And it was Pittsburgh that fell to 6-2 in the Super Bowl. So that game was rigged and scripted. The Super Bowl, the history of the Super Bowl has been scripted from the very inception. Steelers is 31. The game ended 31-26. There are 44 prior Super Bowls, and Packers equals 44 in reverse. And the Cowboys did host the game. The Cowboys is Gematria 45. Back then, AT&T did not have the naming rights to the Cowboy Stadium. Cowboy Stadium equals 81. Pittsburgh Steelers equals 81. Clay Matthews III, Mike McCarthy, Green Bay Packers all equal the state of Texas. Now, Ben Roethlisberger, Ben is Gematria, Texas. The Steelers' last Super Bowl loss prior to Super Bowl 45 occurred 15 years prior against the Super Bowl host Dallas Cowboys. The game was played at Arlington, but it is the Dallas, Texas area. Packers is 28, Dallas, Texas 28, Matthews 28, Greg Jennings 28, Polamalu 28, Charles Woodson equals Cowboys, Super Bowl host Big Ben equals 30. As we go up through the document, or through the spreadsheet, one of the key components to Super Bowls pertains to the name of the team that is hosting the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl 46, 45 prior Super Bowls. New England's 45. Hakeem Nicks, New York Giants is 45. Giants' fourth Super Bowl win in their fifth appearance. That syncs up with New England. Brandon Jacobs also equals Super Bowl 46. Now the Colts is the host. Colts is 15. Tom Coughlin, Tom Brady, Tom equals 15. New York Giants in abbreviations equaled Super Bowl 46 and 35. This was Brady's. He remained at 3 Super Bowl wins after 5 appearances. And Tom Brady equals 35. In the reverse way works as well. So what is reverse? Lucas Oil Stadium equals 53. Eli Manning equals 53. Brady, 5th Super Bowl appearance, remains at 3 wins. A Super Bowl rematch saw Brady fall to 3-2 in the Super Bowl. So the only perfect team finished 17-0. The Giants denied the Patriots perfect season. The Patriots scored 17 points in that game. And now 21 is the title number, but Victor Cruz. Victor equals 75. Again, the Indianapolis Colts are hosting the game. The game started with the Giants up 9-0. The Indianapolis Colts equals 90. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Horseshoe equals 112. I think it's Brandon Jacobs that equals 112. I'm not completely done with each Super Bowl, by the way. I want to include as much info as can be. Now, the Giants led 2-0 after a intentional grounding safety in the end zone by Tom Brady. They would go on to improve the 2-0 against New England in Super Bowls. Lucas Oil equals 29. Now, Mario Manningham. Mario equals 29. He had that big catch in the Super Bowl. But the biggest takeaway from Super Bowl 46 is that the Patriots fell to 3-4 in the Super Bowl, and Indiana hosted the game. Indiana equals 34. Hakeem Nicks, Wes equals 34, and Welker equals 34. Mario in another cipher equals 34. Indiana's 52, the Patriots 52, the New York Giants 52, Tom Coughlin 52, Lucas Oil equals 52, the the company with the naming rights to the stadium. Pats equals 52 and 25. Indy equals 52 and 25 and 20. And again, the game began with the 2-0 score. So that's kind of the Gematria. That's kind of what the Gematria of Indy represents. It was a scripted safety. Giants equals 25. One of my favorite Super Bowls, the Horror Bowl, because it was the first time in years that the Super Bowl didn't feature any combination of the Steelers and Roethlisberger, the Colts and Manning, and then the Patriots and Brady. 46 player Super Bowl, Superdome equals 46. Baltimore improved to 2-0 in the Super Bowl. It's John equals 47-20. John Harbaugh. Colin Kaepernick played college football at Nevada. Nevada equals 47-20. They went 2-0 against the quarterback who hailed from the University of Nevada. Jacoby Jones, Jacoby equals 20. The MVP of the game, the famous Mile High catch, the Mile High miracle. 34 points were scored in the game. Niners equals up by the winning team, the Ravens. Jacoby equals 34. Ray Rice and Joe Flacco both equal 47. This was called the Horror Bowl between the two brother coaches, John of the Ravens and Jim of the 49ers. Horror Bowl equals 34. 34 points by the Ravens. 38 would be Gematria of Louisiana. Joe Vincent Flacco equals 38. Super Bowl MVP. Jacoby Jones equals 38. Now Jones equals 18. Louisiana's the 18th admitted state of the union. I got it included in the spreadsheet. Or actually I do. Jones equals 63. John Harbaugh 63rd win as coach of the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl. Joe Montana, Joe Cool, Joe Flacco with that legendary postseason. 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Joe Cool, Joe Montana, Joe Flacco beating the 49ers, their first Super Bowl loss in their team history. Flacco equals 122, San Francisco's 122 and 50, Ray Lewis 50, Joseph Flacco 50, Frank Gore also equals San Francisco. Ozzie Newsome, Ravens general manager, equals 50. There's a power, at the time of the power outage, there were 34 points during this Horror Bowl. Horror Bowl equals 34. 49ers equals 28. Now Joseph, the real name of Joe Flacco, equals 28. Joe Flacco equals 12 and 51. Jim Harbaugh's real name is James. James equals 12. This was the Ravens' first Super Bowl victory in 12 years. The 49ers fell to 5-1 in the Super Bowl. It's Joe that equals 51, and James Harbaugh, coach of the Niners, equals 51. San Francisco 49ers is 78. Patrick is 78. City of New Orleans, the Harbaugh brothers. That phrases don't work. Perfect textbook example of how the narratives meaning can be derived from the narratives of the games. The Harbaugh brothers, one of the biggest narratives of that game. The City of New Orleans equals the Baltimore Ravens. Steve Bisciotti's 93. Colin Rand Kaepernick and Kaepernick both equal the City of New Orleans. Alex Smith was benched for Kaepernick that season. We'll get into the Ravens firing of their offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron. Joseph Vincent Flacco equals New Orleans, Louisiana. Terrell Suggs equals 49ers. Terrell equals 45. Jim Caldwell, the new offensive coordinator of the Ravens, 45. Frank Gore, 45. New Orleans native Ed Reed. Ed is 45. New Orleans, 45. Super Bowl 48. Also called the Weed Bowl because Colorado and Washington were the first two states that legalized weed in 2012, November. Then they played in the Super Bowl to decide the winner of the 2013 NFL season, the next NFL season. Seahawks scored 43 points. The Super Bowl was at New Jersey, technically. New Jersey 43, Richard 43, Demarius 43, Julius Thomas, the tight end 43. Pete Carroll won national championship at USC. USC is 43. Pete Carroll's 43rd win as Seahawks coach. Peyton's 45. East Rutherford, New Jersey, 75. Earl Thomas, 76. Richard Sherman, 76. Demarius Thomas also equals East Rutherford. His name also equals the Broncos. 12th man equals 68 and 32. Now, when I did this, I think it's important that 12 should remain as one number instead of 1 and 2, because I don't think it's coincidental that 12th man equals Denver. MetLife Stadium equals Peyton Manning. MetLife Stadium 86 equals Broncos in the scripted safety because of the scripted BS of the 12th man. Seattle Seahawks, the late Paul Allen, owner of the Seahawks. 47 prior Super Bowls. The Denver Broncos equals Pete Carroll. Now Marshawn equals 34 and Carroll equals 34. MetLife Stadium, MetLife equals 34. Wilson also equals Gematria of MetLife in both this ordinal and reduction ciphers. Giants are the host. Giants equals Wilson. East Rutherford equals Wilson. Peyton Manning's full name equals East Rutherford, New Jersey. Also called the Meadowlands. The Meadowlands is Gematria of Russell Wilson. I told you about the Weed Bowl. Cannabis equals 54. New York Giants equals 64. They're the Super Bowl host. Denver Broncos 64 up against the Legion of Boom. And the Legion of Boom did beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. New York City and Julius Thomas 60. The Seahawks. New York City metropolitan area. Marshawn Lynch 60. The Seahawks 39 equals Sherman in New York. John Fox fell to 3-3 in the playoffs. The MVP of the game, Malcolm Smith. Malcolm equals 24. New Jersey 24. Seahawks 24. Seahawks also equals Super Bowl 48. And the MVP of the game is Gematria equals 48. Super Bowl 49, the Patriots' fourth Super Bowl win in their 8th appearance. Arizona 48th at Mid-State. James White, 3-time Super Bowl winner, equals 48. Seahawks 48 also equals Glendale, Arizona in abbreviations equals 42. Brady improved the 4-2 in the Super Bowl. The Seahawks and Glendale both equal the Gematria of Darrelle Revis of the Patriots, his only Super Bowl win, and Richard Sherman. It was a one-year rental, one-year win, the Super Bowl, longtime member of the New York Jets. New York also equals 39. Seahawks last championship at New York equals 39. Arizona equals 84. Patriots 8th Super Bowl appearance, a 4th win. Beast Mode equals 84. GOAT also equals Seattle Seahawks. Brady did beat the famed LOB. City of Glendale, Russell Wilson. Russell equals 25. The last team to win the Super Bowl at Arizona was the Giants. And also Gronk equals 25 and Cam equals 25. The Legion of Boom, Patriots scored 28 points. Seahawks only scored 24. Rob Gronkowski went to college at the University of Arizona. Wildcats equals 28. Marshawn Lynch equals Glendale. Glendale 33. Sherman 33. He got absolutely maimed. Seattle and Pete equal 19. The last Super Bowl at Arizona, New England failed to go 19-0. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win in 10 years. Antichrist 49, Revelation 49, lost 2 Super Bowls to Eli Manning, number 10, but wins the Super Bowl 10 years later. Earl Thomas, University of Phoenix, Earl, Glendale, Arizona. That was Super Bowl 49. This year's Super Bowl at San Francisco. San Francisco 50, DeMarcus Ware 50 and 76. San Francisco Bay Area, DeMarcus Ware only Super Bowl. He left a failed team like Darrelle Revis, won the Super Bowl on the Broncos. Josh Norman, Cam Newton, Superman, Levi Stadium 46, Levi Stadium, Denver Broncos 154. The city of Santa Clara, California in the abbreviation 64 equals 49ers, the host. Also Denver Broncos equals 64. The Denver Broncos 79, Santa Clara, California 79. Von Miller's real name is Vonnie. He was MVP of the game. Vonnie equals 79. Vonnie Miller equals the San Francisco Bay. The Panthers equals 53. Bay Area 53. Carolina 53. 49ers 55. The Panthers 55. 49ers equals 28. Greg Olson 28. Newton 28. Bay by itself equals 28. Late Broncos owner Bolin equals 91 and 28. The San Francisco Bay Area, since the always equals 15, the San Francisco Bay Area equals 91, Newton 91. All-star linebacker Luke Kuechly. Kuechly equals Broncos. Broncos, Demaryius Thomas, the Bay Area's 86. Peyton Manning won Super Bowl 41, and he's going to win it at the Bay Area. The San Francisco Bay 75, Carolina Panthers 75. Be on the lookout for that 75 this year. I think it's the city of Santa Clara equals 75. I got to include this in the spreadsheet. I will just, because city of Santa Clara equals 60. So again, I'm not done editing the sheet. There's always more information to include that doesn't pop up right away. Pat Bowlen, late owner of the Broncos, Cam Newton, C.J. Anderson, Jonathan Stewart, the Carolina Panthers, all those equal Santa Clara. Santa Clara equals Manning the Super Bowl on the 7th day of the second month. Panthers equals 38. The Super Bowl is on the 38th day. Where do we go into with the date? February the 7th of 2016. The numbers add up to 18-9. Peyton number 18. Peyton wins the Super Bowl 9 years later. That's the numerology aspect of the date of Super Bowl 50. This is on tab K. I did more of the date numerologies when I went above on the sheet. One of my all-time favorites, Super Bowl 51. It would have been cool to see the Falcons win, but what a dramatic game. 50 players, this is the reenactment of the American Revolution. The Redcoats, King George, the team from Georgia, of course, against the colonists. Brady equals 50 and 23. Matt Ryan equals 50 and 23. Houston, Texas, 51. Danny Amendola, 51. The Colonists equals 51. Now Atlanta equals Texas in both ciphers. NRG equals Atlanta. NRG equals King George. The symbolism of what the Falcons represent is the redcoats of the British Empire. Brady, 39 years of age. NRG equals 39. I think Houston, Texas in abbreviations T and X equals 39 plus Houston equals 31. X equals 6 and T equals 2. So I got to include that in the spreadsheet as well. NRG Stadium and Thomas Brady. His real name is Thomas, of course. Short for Thomas is Tom. Matt Ryan equals Houston. He lost to the GOAT. 31 total points when it was 28-3. Houston 31. The Patriots scored the final games 31 points. Redcoats equals 31. British 40 equals Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn. James White, number 28, tied the game 28-28, and he won the game in overtime. Falcons equals Gronk and James White. 25-point lead by Atlanta. Make America great again. Patriots win, blah, 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 blah. Houston, Texas equals 46 and 62. The first overtime Super Bowl 46. Dan equals 62. In 19, the Patriots 19 points in the fourth quarter. Overtime equals 19 and 35. Brady 35. Comeback 46. Belichick 62. City of Houston 62. 62 total points in the game. Choked equals 28. 28-3. Chokers equals 34. 34-28. Falcon equals 24. Choke equals 24. Super Bowl 52. Pats equals 52. The Vikings, your host, 52. The Patriots 52. Now, Los Angeles Rams equals 52. Carson Wentz tore his ACL against Los Angeles. This was the first Super Bowl matchup between the Patriots and the Eagles. 13 years later, he got injured against LA. Nick Foles went to college at Arizona. Arizona 39. This was a rematch of Super Bowl 39. Alshon Jeffrey equals 39. The repeat 98. Patriots were going for a repeat. They didn't win the repeat, but that was a narrative entering the game. New England Patriots 98. Vikings, your host, 37-98. Nick is 37. The Eagles 37. Doug Peterson equals Minneapolis. Doug Peterson 62 also equals Belichick. Now Minneapolis is 55. The Patriots fell to 5-5 in the Super Bowl. The Eagles last won the title 57 years prior. Foles equals 57. Carson Wentz. Carson 38, Minnesota 38, US Bank Stadium 38, Zach Ertz 38. I should have entered Philly special, but again, everything you see on here is not complete. Georgia 62, Belichick 62. The Atlanta Falcons for the host, Belichick 55. I should include 55 for Belichick. I will take a note and I'm going to re-enter the phrase in the calculator. The Atlanta Falcons are the host. Atlanta Falcons 55. Jared Goff, Aaron Donald all equal New England. Thomas Brady 45. The Patriots' fourth appearance in the Super Bowl in 5 seasons. Tom equals Atlanta. Faced Atlanta. Now is going to Atlanta. Sean McVay, Sean is Gematria of Atlanta. Rams equals Atlanta. Rob Gronkowski equals Atlanta. Patriots last Super Bowl win, they had a 25-point comeback. They're up against Jared Goff. Goff is 25, Falcons 70-25. This is all connected to being the Falcons. And then the Falcons hosting that Super Bowl. MVP, Julian Edelman. Atlanta, Georgia, and the abbreviations equals Brady. One of the key components is not just the site, but also the state in abbreviations. Aaron Donald. Aaron equals 50 up against Brady. Atlanta, Georgia. Your Georgia Bulldog. Running back, Todd Gurley. Julian Thomas. Julian equals Los Angeles Rams. 52 prior Super Bowls. Los Angeles Rams. The Patriots, 52. Stephon Gilmore, All-Pro. Cornerback equals Atlanta, Georgia. Stephon Gilmore equals the Los Angeles Rams. Stephon equals the LA Rams. Josh Gordon's only Super Bowl win. Josh Gordon 53, LA Rams. And McVay equals 64 and 19. And Rob equals 19. Now the Rams failed to win the Super Bowl 19 years later. This was a Super Bowl rematch of 17 years ago. And Bill equals 17. I think the Rams were in St. Louis, so I have to include St. Louis on here. St. Louis equals 25. I'm going to double check that in the calculator. I'm also going to spell it out as well. I should enter St. Louis Rams in the calculator. Super Bowl 54. Mahomes' fourth playoff win in 5 games. Owner Clark Hunt equals Miami, which is 45. Miami 27-36. Reed 27-36. The beginning of a dynasty. 27. Kelsey 27-36. Santa Clara played in the game. Santa Clara equals Miami 27. The KC Chiefs and Garoppolo equal 52. 49ers fell to 5-2 in the Super Bowl. He is actually Patrick Mahomes II. Mahomes II equals 52. Florida hosted the game. Florida 65-38. Kansas 65. Coach Andy Reid. Miami, Florida. Chiefs first title in 50 years. San Francisco. I got to include Gematria of the Cheetah. Chiefs 52. Oh, I have it right there. Never mind. Jimmy G equals Chiefs. He got injured against the Chiefs. Faced off against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. No revenge, although that was a narrative. Andy equals 49ers. Super Bowl on the 33rd day. Patrick 33. Mahomes equals 78. Now Hard Rock, the stadium equals 78. San Francisco 49ers 78. You saw the Gematria there with New Orleans in Super Bowl 47. Kyle Shanahan equals 53. 53 prior Super Bowls. Comeback is 53, and this was a big comeback for the Kansas City Chiefs. There were 53 prior Super Bowls. There was no comeback in Super Bowl 53, so the Gematria comeback actually tied into 53 prior Super Bowls. Super Bowl 53 was pretty dominated by the Patriots. Tampa Bay, Super Bowl 55, Tampa Bay 79, the Kansas City Chiefs 79. Now Miami equals 45. That was the Chiefs' last appearance. Bucks equals 45, Brady 50. Chiefs 50-32. They went up against the greatest quarterback, greatest 32. Thomas Brady, Thomas 22. Chiefs fought a 2-2 in the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay and Tom Brady's abbreviations equal 22. The Bucks' last title occurred against Oakland in Super Bowl 22. or Oakland equals 22. Tampa, Florida equals 73. Brady improved to 7-3 in the Super Bowl. Mahomes fell to 6-2 in the playoffs. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians won the Super Bowl. It's home Super Bowl that also equals 62. Home Super Bowl also equals Kansas City Chiefs. The 10th playoff win for the Bucs and Brady's 10th Super Bowl appearance. Pat equals 10. Super Bowl 56. SoFi equals 22. LA's first title in 22 years. Last title in Super Bowl 34. Burrow 34. LA Rams 34. Aaron Donald equals 22 years later. The LA Rams were in Super Bowl 56. They did win Super Bowl 34. Odell Beckham Jr. 56. Home Super Bowl 64. LA Rams and McVay 64. SoFi Stadium equals Odell Beckham. SoFi Stadium equals Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl during COVID. He made it to Los Angeles 53. Zachary was the offensive coordinator with the LA Rams. Los Angeles, California equals Joseph Burrow and Stafford in the virus. Stafford under 27 and 46 equals SoFi Stadium. The social distancing due to COVID, virus 46 and SoFi virus in Los Angeles. Matthew Stafford, Matthew equals Cincy. Matthew equals the Cincinnati Bengals. You got to do the real name, not just the short abbreviation, not just the, the short name for the actual full name. Anyways, let's go on. Inglewood, California, Matt 54, Cincy 54, Stan equals 54. Stan Kroenke. Also Kroenke equals 34. Zach Taylor, Zach equals 51 and 15. Rams 51-15. Joe 51-15. Owner Mike Brown, it's Michael, that equals 51-33. The Bengals' first appearance in 33 years. The Rams equals Joe and Zach. Sean McVay equals the Bengals. 24 equals Bengals, but the Bengals also equals 39. I meant to enter 39 right there. Odell also equals Bengals. Super Bowl 57, Reed's 22nd playoff win, 2-2 in the Super Bowl. Eagles 22 and 49. Last Super Bowl at Arizona was in Super Bowl 49. Phil Dawson equals 22. He was the late Super Bowl winning quarterback that died for the Chiefs. They went on to repeat. Sirianni fell to 2-2 in the playoffs. Now Len and the GOAT equals 31. State Barn 31. Jason Kelsey Brothers equals 31. Patrick and rookie running back from the Philadelphia area, Isaiah Pacheco equals Glendale. Kelsey Brothers equals Glendale 60. Arizona's 39. Now Super Bowl 39 was the Eagles' last Super Bowl loss. Arizona 39. Eagles' last Super Bowl win was 60 months prior, 12 months by 5 years in Super Bowl 52. The Kelsey Brothers equals Philadelphia Eagles. Kelsey number 87. Glendale, Arizona in abbreviations equals 87. Glendale AZ equals 42. Brothers equals 42. Jalen Hurts equals 42. Jalen equals 15. Mahomes' 15th playoff game against Jalen Hurts. Andrew Walter Reed against his former team. He was the Eagles coach. The Cardinals equals 81. They're the host. City of Glendale, Arizona in abbreviations equals Patrick. One Super Bowl win and 4 appearances for the Eagles. Kansas City equals 14. Chiefs equals 32. Jason Kelsey, one of the brothers, went up against the Chiefs. Panthers 38. Harrison Butker was drafted by Carolina. The winning points were the 38th points in the game. 73 points in the game. The winning brother was Travis. Super Bowl 58. Repeat. Mahomes. Niners last title 29 years ago. Overtime, Andy Reid, the repeat. Nevada is where the game is at. The general manager of the 49ers equals 47-20. Mahomes the second equals 47. The Chiefs equals 47. Kyle Shanahan 47. 47 total points in the game. Silver of the state is Nevada. Silver the 47th element. Kyle equals 53. The Raiders are the host. San Francisco fell to 5-3 in the Super Bowl. Paradise, Nevada was where the game was at, just outside Las Vegas. Paradise 53. McCaffrey came over for the Panthers. Comeback 53. Mahomes, your 5th quarterback to win 3 Super Bowls. Niners fell to 5-3 in the Super Bowl. Chiefs 6 Super Bowl appearance and 4 wins. 49ers 64. Kansas City Chiefs 64. Number 15 Mahomes repeat for his 15th Playoff win, the host Raiders' last MVP quarterback in a Super Bowl was number 15, Jim Plunkett. First repeat in 19 years, Mark Davis, the host owner, 19. Montana wore number 19 with the Chiefs. They went up against Joe Montana's first team, Jed York and Pat Mahomes equals 19. Andy Reid born on the 19th day. A rematch of Super Bowl 54, Vegas 54 and 18. The Hunt family, Hunt equals 18, Clark equals 18. 5 seasons and 4 Super Bowl appearances for the Chiefs. Vegas 54, Mahomes 18th playoff game, Vegas 18. Previous repeat was at Super Bowl 39. Purdy was born at Arizona, Arizona 39. George Kittle 39. Purdy equals 84, Arizona 84. Shanahan fell to 8-4 in the playoffs for the first repeat since Super Bowl 39. Purdy from Arizona. Kansas City under 22, Las Vegas, Nevada in the abbreviations under 22. The Chiefs' 32nd win over the 2-year repeat run. Chiefs 32 against Brock. Brock is Las Vegas. Taylor Swift is Gematria, Las Vegas. Andy Reid's 23rd playoff game, Las Vegas 23. Brock Purdy, Las Vegas, Nevada. Brock Purdy 52. The Kansas City Chiefs 52. Sin City equals Kelsey and Reed. February 11th equals 21-3. The Niners' third Super Bowl loss in their third different quarterback to lose a Super Bowl. The three-peat was the narrative entering Super Bowl 59. Three-peat over at the Superdome involving the Eagles and Andy Reid. Andy Reid equals the Caesars Superdome. New Orleans is 45, three-peat 45. Reid's 45th playoff game. Clark 45, Hunt 45, New Orleans 45. Hunt is 63. The Chiefs owner Sirianni improved to 6-3 in the playoffs. Eagles 29th playoff win on 2-9 against Mahomes, kind of mirroring San Francisco failing to win the Super Bowl 29 years later and repeat 29 from the previous year. The three-peat in the Superdome, Super Bowl 59. Louisiana 101, 38, 142, and 61 equals Jalen Hurts. Chiefs 38 points versus Philadelphia in Super Bowl 57. This is a rematch at Louisiana. Andrew Reid 101 and 61. He did coach Philadelphia. Coach Andy Reid, Caesars Superdome. The Chiefs three-peat narrative over at the Superdome. The Eagles is 82. Saints are the host. First repeat in 19 years, and then they're off to the Super Bowl hosted by the Saints the next year. Nick Sirianni, Pat equals 19. New Orleans Saints, your host, Kansas City Chiefs, 64. Hurts is 23, Swift is 23. Philly improved to 2-3. In the Super Bowl, Mahomes fell to 3-2. Rematch 32, Chiefs 32, Eagles 32. Eagles equals 49 and 22. The Chiefs' 22nd playoff loss in their history. The Chiefs remained at 49 wins during their three-peat run. New Orleans, Louisiana equals 49. City of New Orleans and Mahomes. The City of New Orleans, 93. Sirianni mirrors the Kaepernick Gematria of Super Bowl 47. New Orleans, Louisiana, A.J. Brown, wide receiver. On 20-2 day numerology, this was the Eagles' second title. This is what I got in the Super Bowl history spreadsheet so far.